Something cracked open inside them tonight. Not slowly, not carefully, but in the middle of pouring coffee, in the middle of breathing, in the middle of pretending everything was fine. And what shattered was not their composure, it was the wall they've been constructing since the first moment they realized you weren't replaceable. That cold weight pressing against their ribs has no name they'll speak aloud, but tonight that weight became too heavy to carry alone. They want you, more than they've ever allowed themselves to want anything in this life, and that wanting has been rewriting their entire internal landscape while they stood perfectly still on the outside. Wanting you broke their silence before their voice ever did. The universe doesn't drop breadcrumbs by accident. You didn't stumble into this moment because of algorithms or coincidence. Something is shifting in the silence between you right now, and you were drawn here because your soul recognizes what your mind has been questioning. What does genuine fear protect? Not the ordinary, not the disposable. You don't lose sleep over something you could replace by Tuesday. You don't feel that particular ache at 4 a.m. for someone who never mattered. Terror is the universe's fingerprint. It only presses into what it intends to keep. And what the universe intends to keep, it surrounds with warning signals that bypass the mind entirely. They aren't afraid of you. They're afraid of mornings that don't include you. They're afraid of a future that rewrites itself without your presence. There's a canyon between those two things, and that canyon holds the truth they've been trying to outrun. What exists inside them is not comfortable love. It doesn't sit patiently on the shelf waiting to be noticed. This is the kind of connection that grips, the kind the universe anchors between two people when it refuses to let the story end. Ordinary affection doesn't generate terror. Only the kind that cannot be replaced generates that trembling. You didn't manufacture what you felt. The electricity between you was never imagined. The universe placed something between your souls that doesn't dissolve just because one person is too terrified to name it. What the universe anchors with purpose, it protects with feeling, and the feeling it planted in them to guard this bond is sacred apprehension. Place your palm flat against your sternum. Feel the warmth there. That pulse isn't yours alone. It's the same warmth that rises in their chest every time something reminds them of you. Every time someone mentions your name unexpectedly. Every time they reach for their phone and stop themselves. That warmth is the universe keeping the frequency alive across the distance. It never stopped. Not once. Not through any of the silence. Welcome to the truth behind the silence. If this reached you tonight, subscribe to Wind of Thought and turn on notifications. Every message here arrived precisely for where you're standing right now. Later in this video, I'll show you 3 cracks where their guard fails. Not what it looks like from the outside, but what lives beneath it. 3 places their control fractures no matter how expertly they manage it. What I reveal will change how you interpret every glance, every pause, every moment they almost crossed the room and didn't. Stay with me until the final frame. What you're about to hear will make their feelings undeniable. Type "they feel it" in the comments. 2 words, not about their silence, about what lives under the silence. The universe notes those 2 words and understands exactly what they carry. Stay, because what I'm about to show you will land somewhere that's been waiting to be reached for a very long time. Here's the first crack where their fear exposes them. It reveals itself in how desperately they work to appear unaffected. Watch the act, not the genuine indifference, the performance of it. There's a universe between someone who truly doesn't care and someone who is acting like they don't care. One costs nothing, the other demands constant labor, and labor always leaves tracks. It tracks in how quickly they change direction when your name surfaces. A beat too fast, a response too measured. It tracks in how their gaze moves away when you enter a space, not because you mean nothing, but because you mean everything, and eyes betray the soul before the face can catch up. It tracks in how they answer questions about you with a tone straining to sound casual, that specific flatness that only emerges when someone is compressing something enormous. They perform indifference every single day, and every day that performance extracts payment from something real inside them. Because pretending not to care about someone who has taken up permanent residence in your chest is exhausting. The energy required to appear unmoved by someone who lives inside your breath is immense, and that energy betrays itself. The stillness that isn't stillness, the calm that requires effort, the ease that took work to manufacture. The performance of not caring is their first confession. The universe engineered it that way. What cannot be replaced cannot be treated as ordinary,
even when someone tries with everything they have. Here's the second crack. It reveals itself in the small movements they made before their mind catches up. They drift toward you before they choose to. They end up beside you before they planned it. They reach for their phone before the thought fully forms. They type your name before deciding what they want to say. They look up when you arrive before they even knew you were arriving. Before decision, there is already movement. That movement is the soul acting while the mind still pretends it's undecided. They move toward you the way a river moves toward the ocean, not because it deliberated, but because that's where it was always flowing. What the universe anchors as irreplaceable, it also gives direction, and that direction has been pointing toward you since before either of you understood what existed between you. Here's the third crack. It reveals itself in how they respond when they sense you might be moving forward without them. Something shifts, something they can't control before it surfaces. A tension in the jaw, a pause before words arrive, a question delivered too carefully, too deliberately, the kind of careful that belongs only to someone for whom the answer matters beyond measure. They ask how you're doing in a way that asks something else entirely. They mention someone they heard you were with in a tone straining for neutrality and barely making it. The fear of losing you to somewhere they cannot follow breaks their performance every single time. What they hold for you is love, not convenience, not habit. What makes someone maintain a performance of indifference at enormous daily cost is love, the kind the universe installs permanently, the kind that doesn't negotiate with the decision to stop feeling it. Love that terrifies is love that intends to stay. Touch the inside of your wrist. Find your pulse. That rhythm has been steady through every single day of this, through every performance, through every unconscious movement toward you, through every weighted question about your life. It never stopped. The universe placed it there, and the universe doesn't retract what it places. Type "they revealed it" in the comments. 3 words for every moment you witnessed their guard fail before they could rebuild it. For every performance that wasn't quite convincing. For every movement before the decision. The universe knows those 3 words and knows exactly which moments they reference. At night, there is no performance. Night strips away every carefully constructed layer of indifference down to what actually exists. And what exists at 2 a.m. when the performance has exhausted itself is the raw truth. Fear, pure and undisguised, giving everything away. They lie there. The ceiling offers nothing. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. The hours pass, but the fear doesn't pass with them. It sits in the chest where it's been sitting since the moment they understood what they could lose. And in the darkness, it's louder than daylight, because there's nothing left to perform for. They reach for the phone. Put it back. Reach again. Open your name. Stay there. Not typing. Just looking at your name like it's the only honest thing in the room. Because it is. Your name in their phone at 3 a.m. is the most honest thing in the room when all the performances have finally surrendered. They check your profile. Look at your pictures. Zoom in. Look for signs you're okay. Look for signs you're thinking of them. Look for signs you've stopped. They search your expression for something that tells them where they stand. They find nothing obvious. They put the phone down. Pick it up again. Type your name into search bars. Scroll through old messages. Read something you said once and feel the full weight of it. This isn't obsession. This is sacred fear making its nightly inventory. The universe has witnessed every one of those nights, every quiet search in the dark. Not one has escaped its notice. Their dreams betray them. During daylight, their management holds. The performance works. But no one manages their dreams. And in dreams, the fear disappears. There's only you. You're sitting across from them in a room that doesn't quite exist. You're laughing. The real laugh. The specific sound that belongs only to you. You're looking at them without the weight of everything between you. Just warm. Just present. Just real. In the dream, they aren't afraid. In the dream, they simply have you. For 3 seconds after waking, the dream still occupies the room. For 3 seconds, there's no fear. Then the 4th second arrives. Warmth drains. The ceiling returns. The fear returns. Heavier than before sleep. Because for 3 seconds, the dream showed them exactly what they're terrified of losing. Their body confesses where the performance cannot reach. A change in breathing when you enter space. Warmth in the chest they can't neutralize when something carries your frequency. A stillness in their hands when your name surfaces unexpectedly. A shift behind the eyes before the face can manage what the eyes are doing. The body never received the memo about performing. The body only holds what's true. And what's true is that what they feel for you has been living in their body as fear and love, and the specific ache of someone who knows exactly what they have and hasn't yet found the courage to act on that knowing. Press 2 fingers gently to the base of your throat. Feel the warmth there. That place has been holding something real through every day of witnessing this. What the body carries doesn't disappear because the mind performs something different. What the universe placed between you is still present in both bodies every single day. They told themselves the fear was manageable. They told themselves it would fade. They told themselves the performance would become real eventually. They told themselves staying busy would drown it out. They told themselves they were overreacting. They told themselves they had more control than their body showed. They told themselves it would stop showing through. They lied every single time. What they feel for you is love. The universe sees every night of it, every performance that cost them more than they revealed, every movement before the decision, every carefully weighted question that gave everything away, every dream that told the truth daytime refused to speak. The universe hasn't missed a single moment of what they've been carrying in the name of not showing it. Type, "I see clearly," in the comments. 3 words for every time you watched the fear show before they could rebuild it. For every performance that fractured at the edges. For every moment you knew something larger existed than what was being shown to you. The universe knows exactly what those 3 words confirm. Now here's what I promised. Here's what the universe brought you to receive tonight. The fear is not the problem. Hear that clearly. The fear is not something broken in them. It's not a barrier between you and what's real. The fear is the evidence. Fear only arrives for irreplaceable things. You cannot fear losing something ordinary. You cannot wake at 3 a.m. with that specific cold knowing over something that never mattered. The universe doesn't place fear around what's sacred.